Making Big Shifts, presented by Marketing Reboot, with your host, Josh Anderson.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Making Big Shifts. I'm your host, Josh Anderson, where we talk to entrepreneurs making really big shifts and the real results that follow. Today, I'm really excited. We have Jessica Miller joining us. She is a business coach helping entrepreneurs find hidden money in their business and make money and uncover money with ease. So welcome to the podcast, Jessica.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Josh.
So, Jessica, you have a very interesting story. And I just kind of want to get to that to begin with and just fill us in about how you got to where you are today. I know you have several steps along the way about where you're at now and the focus you're on. One of them is the Hell Yes offer, which you'll probably tell us about. But tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, so I actually was working corporate for many, many, many years, maybe like some of the people listening to this podcast. And I had this desire to do something bigger. I loved my job. I was helping global teams. I was in the pharmaceutical industry. I was helping them build, brands and doing all sorts of cool things. But I just knew that the structure of corporate was not going to allow me to do what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I stood on that cliff for a really long time, looking over. And unfortunately, after I had my second child, I had a really serious health crisis. At that moment, serendipitously, my position was actually also being moved overseas. And so I was offered either, take another position in the company or take a severance package. And so even though I had wanted to make this exit and have the runway and all those things, I was completely freaked out. But I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do this with the encouragement of, people around me that said, go for it. So I did. And I came out of corporate into my entrepreneurial journey, mostly working with people on the mindset of making money. I really believe very deeply that people should put the value they want out in the world and have the impact and make as much money as they wanted to. But as I started working with a lot of really capable, really brilliant people, I saw one consistent through thread with a lot of them, which was that they were not making any money. And I was kind of like, what the heck is going on here? This is not how it should be. So I quickly pivoted and said, there is a way to run a business that makes money easily. And there's an equation for that. And part of it is the internal game. The other part of it is the plan that you have around the results you want to create. And underpinning that is the data to measure to make sure it's actually happening. So I pivoted to that right around the time, right before COVID. And once COVID hit, excuse me, my business completely took off. I started helping all of these different entrepreneurs. I had a program called the 10K Accelerator, which helped people scale up to 10K months and beyond. And one of the things that I really recognized with a lot of these businesses was that you needed to have something that you were selling that people really wanted. And through that focus, my program that is called the Hell Yes offer kind of was born. It came to bear. And basically the whole premises of this was if you have an offer that people come in contact with and say, hell yes, this is the thing that I want, it makes everything in your life that much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
You're generating cash, customers are coming in, and things are good. Along with that, a hell yes offer at the epicenter of your business makes all of the other pieces of your business clear. So when you know what your hell yes offer is, you know who you're targeting, what to say to them, what they care about, where they're hanging out. It becomes the center of this ecosystem that actually flows more easily. And so as I started to build my business out and help others build their business out, they started to grow into larger companies. And I pivoted over into growth consulting, where I specifically looked at these companies that were established and helped them become more profitable. Because revenue's great, but you want revenue that you can keep. And revenue that you keep is profit. So when you look at your existing business and you understand where my money is coming from, what is working, how do I do that better and more efficiently? You uncover hundreds of thousands of dollars that are sitting there waiting to be mined off of all the hard work you've already done.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's an existing structure, your ability to siphon that off actually becomes so much easier. So what these companies end up doing is taking their existing business and generating a whole lot more money, a whole lot bigger ROI for a whole lot less work. And that's really the lane that I am really passionate about and focus a lot of my time in, which of course is connected to your offer and your products.
Totally.
But it's really about using what is in your business now to do more and make more for yourself and your customers.
Yeah. That's for sure. What size of businesses are your bread and butter right now? Are we talking right around the million top line, or what are you looking at?
It goes anywhere from 300,000 to over $1 million, several $1 million.
And what's one of the when you come into a new business, what is your framework, or what is the process how you get started to uncover these growth levers or these profit levers, or more or less?
Yeah, I love that. I use that word profit lever all the time. Like, people are gonna hear me say optimize and profit lever like 100 times. Yeah, it's actually really simple. We do a very simple audit of your business where we're asking questions about what are you selling? What are your offers? Where is this money coming from?
Hmm.
What have been some of the most profitable things that you've done? What feels easy in your business? We're basically getting a snapshot of what is actually happening there. And specifically, we're looking at what is happening easily and well. And because we've done this for so many businesses and so many different people, we have sort of the eagle eye to come in and uncover that very quickly. So it's a very simple process. And then from there, what we're doing is we're looking at where is the next best opportunity for you. So a lot of coaches and consultants will come in and give you a laundry list of 75 things that you need to do differently. And we all have these things. But for us, we're not interested in all that. We're interested in your 20%. We're interested in the most profitable, easiest lever that you can pull to generate that money. And
Yeah,
that's
so
what we build a plan around.
for sure. Getting out of the, increasing that EBITDA is so huge. So I'm finishing up the Isaacson Elon Musk biography. It's pretty
Mm,
amazing. But one thing throughout the a thing in there that's really spoke to me, because my agency, we continually say subtraction before addition. So when we come into
yes.
somewhere, we actually remove half the stuff they're currently doing and double down on what they're doing. One of Musk's mantra was delete, simplify, accelerate. Is that what you, I mean, obviously there's a little more secret sauce than that, but there's a lot of it like just taking away what's not optimized and not really even moving the needle.
Yeah, it is. What we really focus on, though, is helping you get clarity around what are the results that you want and what is the simplest, fastest way to get there. We don't necessarily have to, bust up all the other parts of your business. It's more about focus and intention and, positioning energy toward the things that you want. So sometimes we'll parking lot things. Sometimes we'll tell people, to dial stuff down, but really we're actually focused ahead. So we're like, yep, there's all this stuff, but right here is
Right.
this is the highest leverage point.
Right.
So if you just put 80% of your energy and focus here, you would make 10 times more. So we're helping them see things differently, get organized around that, get creative within that boundaried space. And what it really does is it sets people free and they end up actually letting go or dialing down the things that are not in that, path on their own. And I think it's important because as an entrepreneur, you're a creative person and you want to do the things and you want to have agency over your business. And nobody wants some coach or consultant coming in and like destroying their hopes and dreams.
Totally.
But if we can give them the agency and the autonomy to see it and choose it, we actually find that they will do it more easily and more successfully.
Make them buy in, or make them sometimes
Yes.
make it seem like it's their own idea, right? So for all the hundreds of businesses you've seeing or are seeing, what is the most common thing that is hamstringing these businesses from making this big shift towards more profitability?
Yeah, it's a lack of focus, frankly. I mean, I think for the most part, there are some businesses that don't have clarity around where their money is really coming from. So the first piece I would say is you have to know your data. Like data is a dirty word in the industry. Like I think people get overwhelmed by math. They also go down this rabbit hole of like, I need a really sophisticated Google Analytics dashboard. Like in my world, it's a simple spreadsheet with like 5 or 6 points that are along your sales funnel that are really important. It's super simple. You need to understand exactly what's going on there. So for some people, it's really helping them get clear on like what is actually moving the lever in their business. So that's one piece where if they don't know that, they're focusing on the wrong stuff. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, like everyone, there is information, fire drills, like tons of things that are coming into
Yeah.
our brain. And we follow a lot of these bouncing balls. This is because we're innovators and we're creative. And so it's interesting to us. I see it's also part of the people that we hang around with and the rooms that we're in, like every shiny object, every cool thing. So we end up actually spending the majority of our time on the stuff that is not the 20%.
Totally.
And that's the problem. So either you don't know exactly where it is, or it's hard for you to see it because you're in it. It's like reading the label of the bottle when you're in it,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
or you don't have someone or a system to keep you on track to the things that actually matter. And opportunities come up and they sound great. I will tell you, as someone who's done this many, many times, I would say like 2% of the time do we ever change a plan that we have created with a company that shows them what their next best opportunity is, because 4 weeks later, when they have another idea, it's probably not better than the one that they had before.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
mean,
harder, to
yeah.
do that.
Well, I mean, the plan enforcement is massively important. Like, I think people underestimate how important it is sticking to the plan, whether it's a marketing plan, a business plan, things of that nature, because you saw something great on Facebook last night and you want your marketing team to implement it now. Well, there's a trade-off there because the plan's already in place,
Yes.
and that plus hours and resources and everything else. So what else are you putting, to the side to do that, right? And the same with
Yeah.
other business. With business,
Mhm. Yeah, and to give you an example, Josh, just how this works, I'll give you an example. I work with a lot of brick and mortar businesses, one of which is a med spa. And when I came in, you can imagine a lot of companies are like this, like tons of services, tons of products, like they're growing fast, but there's so many things. When we actually dug into their business, the number one thing that was driving revenue in their business was the events that they were running. When they would run an event, they would have a ton of people show up at the door. They were interested, they were engaged. And that's where the clients were getting bought in and they were buying the things, whether they were new people or existing people. And so we really dug into that. Like, what does this look like? What are they buying? How is
right?
this working? We then took that one asset and carved it out for a quarter, and the amount of money that they generated in one event, they made $45,000 in 5 hours. And not only did they make $45,000, but because they have memberships and things like that that are
Right.
sticky and repeatable, this $45,000 was really just the short term money. And then all that other stuff after it was the upside. And then that thing was repeatable. So now they've taken that model for those events. And whenever they want to make money, they run another event. Maybe it's the Mother's Day event this time, then it's like the summer soiree next time, but the assets became repeatable too. So their ability to make that money is now so much easier for them.
Yeah. A lot less lift, of course, over time with, efficiency gains there. Hey, sorry to interrupt the podcast really quick. If you're getting value from making big shifts, please subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss the next conversation. All right. Appreciate it. And now back to the podcast. So, as entrepreneurs, like you just talked about it, all the flashy objects, things, how do you get people to make that mind shift or that mindset shift that to stop chasing that and really just stick to the plan? I mean, I could see this is a plan saying to the CEO, but he still wants something to happen because he thinks it's a good idea, right? But how do you enforce that mindset change?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, you need to show them, like, you need to connect the dots for them.
Yeah.
You need to help them see how the next opportunity that you're talking about is actually one of the most powerful levers. If they care about, for example, a certain revenue goal or time in the door or number of clients, like tying that to what they're doing and showing how this specific asset that you're isolating is going to help get them there faster and easier is so important. Because to your point, if you don't have their buy-in or you're trying to convince them that this is the thing, but really like they're over here thinking like, yeah, okay, I hear
Right.
what you're
Yeah. Yeah.
saying, but it's really this thing over here, they're not going to create the results. So it does come down to developing a relationship and a trust with the person that you're working with.
Totally.
For me, I think it's showing them that we have benevolence for their business, and for them, we're a partner. We're here to support them. And I think, to be honest, I don't know if you've seen this too, Josh, but I think, people hire us to help them create the results that they want, not to be like in the passenger seat yesing them to death. And sometimes you need to be that person that is going to like dig into it with them and help them understand and see that maybe what they're thinking is not actually in line with their goals. And that's delicate. It really takes a relationship to do that. But it also takes like knowing your stuff and being able to show them the data. And then it's gently bringing them back to the plan. Even after they bought in, something comes up and you're like, yep, let's talk about that. And then like, let's bring you back over here to this that we talked about. Is it still the best thing? And let's move from there. So
Totally.
it's getting their buy-in.
Yeah, I think that's a big point too about being objective about everything too. Because I mean, even I've been in a long-term marketing retainers. At first, like this first 6 to 8 months is probably the most powerful you're going to be in a situation like that, being the outside source of truth and objectiveness, right? But then
Hmm.
as you stay longer and longer and longer, it's not that you become a yes person, right? It's just that
Sure.
you're more of a commodity at that point, right?
Mhm.
You kind of lose the outside perspective as well. So I think that's really important. That's one of the big things about having outside perspectives.
Yeah, and I think that's another good point that you bring up, Josh, is that, we're always showing our value. I think it's super important. And we work in 90-day cycles. So we do intentionally front load that fast cash in the door. Like, where is your lowest hanging fruit? Because we want to get them a win. We want them to be able to see the results of what they're paying for. And then when we go through that cycle, we're like, okay, great. Where's the next amount of money you want to make? Okay, it's the same thing. So not the same thing. It's the next thing.
Right.
And we just try to continue to keep that momentum. And we actually construct our contracts in a way that keeps that like accountability going from both sides. So we're making them money. Their life is getting easier. They want to stay on. They're sick of making so much money. They don't want to do that anymore. Like, we can like love and release. It's okay.
Yeah.
But to your point, like keeping that very intentional and strategic in the way that we're rolling those projects out, they can see the win, they can see the ROI. It's very important for sure.
Yeah, that client relationship management right there. That sounds like you have a good setup there, especially with your contract status. So not going back to the Hell Yes offer, but kind of going back to the journey from that to this. What was the shift that you had to make there? I mean, like, obviously you were having successful business with the Hell Yes offer, right? When did I guess your visual data and the data points you were tracking mentally probably kind of make you like, oh man, I really need to lean into this, helping people become more profitable.
Yeah. So this is kind of a funny story, but it is the truth. So I was doing the Hell Yes offer. I was growing. It was great. I mean, it's such a sticky brand, Hell Yes offer too.
Yeah.
So as I was working on that with people, they started to grow. So I kind of grew with them. But where
Right.
I really started to lean into profitability, doing less, making more, and ease, especially in my own business, was I came to a point where I live in the Northeast and I had an opportunity to go to Maine with my family for the summer. And it has been a dream of mine since I was in high school to a home in Maine to go away for the summer. I used to have friends when I lived in New York that would go to like their lake house. And I was like, someday this is going to be me. Well, several years ago, we had the opportunity to go away for a couple of months to Maine. And I decided that I did not want to be running an inefficient business that I was working overtime to create results with. I was growing, but I was doing all the things that I am helping my clients not do right now. So that forcing function of like, see myself in the car on the beach, you know what I mean? Like being able to flex my time
Yeah.
was a huge motivator and spending time with my family. So I decided, I looked at my calendar. It was a sea of colors with all the different things on it. And I was like, what am I?
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
like having anxiety looking at this thing. So I made the commitment that I was going to create a business that was streamlined and powerful. I was going to uncover that money in my business that could generate 10x. And I was going to do it in 2 days a week. And I'm here to tell you that that was an aha moment for me in April of, I guess it was like 2023. I moved fast. I figured out what my levers were. I figured out how to reverse engineer my calendar. And I moved into that summer doing like 2.5 days in the summer. And after it was over, I realized like, I don't need to stop doing this like just for the summer. So why don't I just keep going? And so that's what I basically did. And of course it ebbed and flowed. Like all of a sudden
Right.
my calendar's full and I'm, doing all the things. But what I developed was a framework and a process for being more profitable and having really powerful assets in my own business. So now I can actually do that for my clients. And I'm here to tell you that last summer I did the same thing. And it got even easier because it's like a muscle, right? You start to become someone who believes in high ROI and high quality and doing less and being on point. You get brave and say no to things that are outside of your boundaries, which is really hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard. So that mental game was a big part of it. But
Totally.
I think as a result, I mean, that's how I ended up pivoting to this type of work. People are having more fun. They've got more white space on their calendar and they're making a whole lot more money that they're keeping. So
Totally.
it's
Love
awesome.
it. So yeah, you just spoke about your high quality offer and things you have like now, but let's go to the Hell Yes offer. What are the core parts of the Hell Yes offer?
Yeah. So there are 3 parts to a Hell Yes offer. And anybody who has a product and service should put their like this cap on and think about their products and services through this lens. So number 1, it calls a very specific person in. It's problem focus. People think of you by the problem that you help them solve. So I always say it calls in your people. It cuts through the noise and it is problem focused. That's the first piece of a Hell Yes offer. The second piece is that it has a very unique solution. It helps people solve this problem in a way that they are like, hell yes, that is what I've been looking for. I need something. I order it from Amazon. Awesome. It could be here in 24 hours. Oh, wait, it could be here by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hell yes. And I'll even spend $2.99 more to
Yeah.
get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a unique, powerful solution. Like give people what they really want. And then the third thing is, and this is probably the most important part, is it is built off of your hell yes. Like so many people, when they start building a product or a service, they look out in the marketplace. What is everybody else doing? What's Josh doing? What's selling? What's all this stuff? And at the end of the day, like your hell yes offer starts with you. Like, what are you hell yes about? And my plea to everyone is start with that, build the thing that you are super excited about, and then find the people who are hell yes about that too, rather than going out there and finding something that's ho hum, kind of sounds good and trying to convince yourself that it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not the same. It's not the same. So those are the three basic pieces.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful framework for sure. I love that. I love that idea too about find out what did your hell yes, right? And then yeah, that's the product. I think that if you are 100% behind a product that you're trying to sell, you're going to sell it better, and people can obviously see that compared to like you're exactly right. Like, oh, it's a decent product. Here, you want to buy it?
Yeah.
There's so much truth to that.
Yeah. And one thing too, just to sort of stay consistent with what I was saying, it doesn't mean that you have to blow your products up if maybe you're not there. Like when I launched the Hell Yes offer, I think actually it was either a 90-day or a 6-month program. I can't remember, but I remember the day where I decided, you know what? Nobody wants to wait 90 days for a Hell Yes offer. They want it like yesterday. And so I pivoted my business to do, it's basically a VIP day. It's an immersive experience where in one day you're going to walk out of there with your hell yes offer. I was like, yes, this is amazing. And I think I sold 2 of them the first week I made that shift because everyone else was like, yeah, I don't want to wait for this. So, you've got something in your business. If it's not quite there, optimize it because there's so much data kind of pointing you to how do you make it better? You don't have to blow up your stuff and start again. In fact, you absolutely shouldn't.
So we've obviously been talking for like 20 minutes or so, and it's like starting to get the pattern, like obviously from your health scare to starting the marketing or the Hell Yes offer to reading the data, the signs on the wall to going to business profitability. You can recognize, you can see patterns very easily, or not easily, but you can at least see them, right? And those are all big shifts that you're making, of course, over the course of your career too. Do you have a framework for like seeing these big shifts that are coming down and then actually it feels like you're kind of going all into them as well, even though, you know what I mean? Like you're not just holding back, you're truly leaning into what you think is going to be the right move for you, which everybody should. So I guess I'm asking, like, as you look for these patterns, what are you looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say this is my framework. And frankly, anybody can do this. And I think people should do it more. I think it is a combination of feeling forward and your intuition and your data. So we get these ideas, feelings in our body, like it's really a compass. Like, oh my gosh, this thing, like I'm sure you've had this, Josh. You're like, I see this book or I hear this thing and we're just like dialed in to. A lot of times we just dismiss that. We're like, oh, it's like a lightning rod, but then we're kind of like, I don't know, maybe this is crazy. Maybe I didn't sleep enough last night. We just dismiss that visceral reaction. My plea to everyone is follow it. Feel forward. Like there is something going on there that you feel like that. And human beings are energetic people. We're super intuitive. So number one is like, follow your crazy ideas, follow those things forward, follow those hell yes moments. And then the other piece of it is look at the data. Look at the data. Because when I shifted my business, both like I'm going to repackage this hell yes offer, or I'm going to go into profitability, finding hidden money in people's businesses, the data was there. I looked at this like, what would this mean if I change this offer to a day? What are people saying? What would that mean for my bottom line? What kind of overhead is that? Like I really looked at the data. And then when you can see it in plain sight, like your brain logically is like, oh yeah, bouncing ball. Like I see it. Then it's like mixed with all that hell yes energy. And you can just go with the confidence that there's clarity. You know what I mean? So I think it's like hell yes energy and feel forward and look at your data.
Yeah. How do you think, going to your origin story, how do you think that health scare that you experienced has shaped your mindset about that? Do you feel like you're a little more risk tolerant?
I don't know that I'm more risk tolerant, but I will tell you that I have now bought into the idea that it is not worth wasting your time on stuff that is not moving the needle and is not important to you. What you want, you can have in your business. You just need to know how to get there. And sometimes you can't see it because it's you. So find the people that can help you. But wasting time energy, money, resources is the slow way to grow and get what you want, and also the slow way to help and impact the amount of people that you want to impact. So I think it's about doing less, making more. And I think my journey has been very much shaped by life is precious. Things happen. It could happen to any of us. Don't waste your time. Like, do the things that really matter and move the needle for you, and it will just make everything better and easier.
Amen to that. If people are interested in working with you, where can they find out more information about you, contact you, things like that?
Yeah. So you can go to my website. It's jessicamillercoaching.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. And I also have a podcast called the It's Your Offer podcast, where I talk a lot about this stuff all the time. So that's another place you can find me.
Yeah, love it. I'm going to check it out too myself. What's one last piece of advice, kind of wrapping up everything? We've covered a lot of territory today, but like, what's one last piece of parting advice you'd like to leave the listeners?
Yeah, I would say, you have worked really hard to get where you are right now. If you're an entrepreneur that's starting off, you've created things, you have intellectual property. If you're in a business already that you've created, you've done a lot of hard work. There is gold sitting right there, ready to be mined. So don't be afraid, harness that hell yes energy, collect the data, ask the experts, listen to great podcasts like this one, and go for it. Go for it. There's so much opportunity for you out there.
Hell yes. I love that. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This is a great conversation. I do really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. For all you listeners, thanks for listening to Making Big Shifts by Marketing Reboot. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to Making Big Shifts by Marketing Reboot. It would be a huge help to us if you subscribe to the channel and share this with somebody that you think needs it. Your support helps us continue to bring great guests on board and keep the conversation going. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Making Big Shifts. Like, share, and follow for more. Join us next time on Making Big Shifts, presented by Marketing Reboot.